First up, we are going to have our end of the year recap from our immediate past president. Please welcome Kristen Twombly, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. It's so weird. Immediate past president. This is our first time gathering together the entire year. And I cannot tell you how moved beyond words I am to just see all your faces and give you guys hugs and be here in person with you guys tonight. You know, in a million years when I envisioned my presidency for MPISCC, I never envisioned a year where we would never meet in person, where every event would be done online, and also where our industry would be impacted in the way that it was. We faced something together unlike anything our industry had ever been through before. What we faced as professionals was unbelievable, right? So many people lost our jobs. Also, what we faced as human beings, this extreme isolation, this extreme fear, it just was unreal. But one thing became glaringly obvious, and it's the importance of what we do as an industry, and that is to bring people together and to connect as human beings. And despite being apart for the entire year, that is exactly what we did last year. We did 19 events, which is a record high. We brought together more than 1,500 attendees combined across all of our events. We hosted a multi-day virtual conference with, let me tell you, that is not easy to do. So shout out to our WeCon team. I mean, whoo. There they are back there. Really, really, really difficult, but interviewing people the likes of Carly Fiorina, the first ever female CEO of a Fortune 20 company. We raised over $8,000 to go towards chapter initiatives and our scholarship program to help members in needs. We donated almost $1,000 towards the MPI Foundation program to accelerate the recovery of our industry. During our holiday fundraiser, we raised money to provide meals for children in need to the Los Angeles Dream Center in downtown LA. And because of these initiatives and many more, we earned nominations and were finalists for 5 MPI Global Rise Awards. Yeah, really kind of incredible. But in my opinion, our biggest accomplishment last year was the strides we have made and the progress we have made in the DE&I space. We made a commitment at the beginning of last year to make diversity, equity, and inclusion a major priority for us. And we realized as an organization it was something, we had some shortcomings in that space. And so we wanted to make some changes. And we still have a lot of work to do, but I am proud to share with you some of the progress we have made to date. We founded You Belong, which is our committee towards DE&I initiatives. We hosted book club meetings to educate ourselves and chapter chats where we had open and honest and vulnerable and very powerful conversations with one another. We interviewed film producer George Tillman Jr., best-selling author Nicole Chung, and the founders of the California Innocence Project. We also launched our scholarship program, and its purpose was to increase diversity amongst our own membership and also to help people who are interested in advancing the cause of diversity to educate themselves. And so far, we have given away 5 new memberships, 1 renewal membership, a student membership, and also an inclusive strategy certificate. And some of these people are in the room with us today, so thank you guys so much for being here. We accomplished a lot in a short period of time, but we definitely have a lot more work ahead of us. And so Amani and his team are going to carry the torch, I'm sure, and keep this progress going. Inclusivity and equality for humans it's not a trend, it's not a fad. It came to light last year because of some of the things that were happening in our country, but it was past time. So we still have a long road ahead of us. And with that in mind, we have made a director of diversity and inclusion a permanent role on our board now. And I'm so excited to say that person is going to be taking their oath with us tonight, along with the rest of the board for the first time ever. So the incoming board certainly has their work cut out for them. As an industry, we're still navigating a lot of uncertainty as we reopen and deal with variants and a lot of other curveballs continue to be thrown our way. But this group of people is remarkably well equipped for their jobs. They are passionate, creative, incredibly dedicated. They've been preparing for these roles since March. And they are going to do what we always do here in Southern California, which is push the limit and try to be better than everybody else. So cheers to you guys. To the outgoing board, I'm gonna try not to get emotional. You guys, I am beyond grateful for the work that you did last year. This was a freaking tough year. It really, really was. And you rose to every occasion and continued to work towards our initiatives and fulfill our mission as an organization. And regardless of the difficulties many of us were facing personally and professionally, you stayed engaged and committed to the oath that we took together last year. And MPI Southern California would not be the organization it is today, which is top 5, like a really badass organization. And it is because of all of your hard work. I want to say a special thank you to our immediate outgoing past president, Joe Martin, who is coming off the board after 9 years of dedication and service. You've had like a ridiculously positive impact on this chapter, as you know, and also on me personally, one of my best friends. Thank you, MPI, for bringing him into my life and for keeping me somewhat sane last year. I can't say fully sane, but talking me off a ledge multiple times, so thank you for everything. Amani, where are you? Like, come up to the front, man. Get out here. I'm so ready to pass the gavel to you. Take it, run. Yes. My advice to you that I found incredibly helpful this year is at the end of the day, when you're banging your head against the wall, it's all about the members. Like, right? Like, this industry is everything to both of us. It's done so much for our careers. So, like, just bring your focus always back to that and connect with the board as much as you can. They're rock stars, but they work so hard in addition to everything else that they, their jobs and everything like that. So that's so important. Put your therapist hat on, because like literally you're gonna find yourself in this really unexpected role of being everyone's therapist. Kind of fun sometimes, and then other times very stressful. Please don't hesitate to ask for help, because you're not good at that, and you have so many people here rooting for you and supporting you, and you're gonna just be amazing. But also have fun, because the year goes by so fast, even in a pandemic where time like makes no sense and like everything seems backwards, but just enjoy it. Enjoy every moment of the ride. So we're all looking towards the future. The meetings and hospitality professionals around the world are full of hope, and here at MPISCC, we are too. We're so excited for what comes next. This is our first in-person event in 18 months, and it feels so amazing to see you guys. So we're on the right path. We're getting there, and under Amani's leadership and vision, the incoming board has some amazing things in store for all of you. So I'm very excited to see what comes next, and cheers to all of you guys for being here tonight, and thank you.
Yes, let's give it up for Kristen Twombly, everybody. Oh my goodness. Just standing over there getting chills and everything. And honestly, the board this past year, as you said, has been incredibly amazing and supportive. So thank you again to everybody who has been on the board this past year. All right, and now next up, we're going to have our first awards here. We're going to be it's going to be Emerging Leader and Member of the Year, and we're going to bring up President-elect Amy Zielinski. Come on up, Amy.
Hi, everybody. So excited to see everyone in person. Like, I feel like everyone needs to put up those yellow boxes around so that we actually recognize each other, So super, super excited to have everybody here. And I am so excited to be presenting these awards. Kristen mentioned so many of the chapter's accomplishments, and so much of that, of course, is the board. It's an amazing team, but it's our volunteers. Just we can't say enough about them. We would not be the strong chapter that we are without our volunteers. And so I want to thank every single one of them. I'm super excited. The first award tonight is Emerging Leader of the Year. And so each year, this is awarded to a new member who's made a real significant contribution in kind of a short amount of time in some of their early year on the board. The nominees this year are Chrissy Thompson, Janet Green, and Carly Watson. And the winner is Chrissy Thompson.
Winning this award just means so much, especially after such an intense and crazy year for our industry. To get that recognition from, my fellow members of this chapter just really means a lot, knowing that someone else from my chapter nominated me, and I was, amongst some great nominees. So it really means the world.
And one more. Next up, we have Member of the Year. So Member of the Year bestowed annually to a member who's made significant contributions to the chapter and the industry and has demonstrated service, commitment, passion, dedication to the entire chapter. Amazing nominees this year. Everyone has made such an incredible difference. Haley Powers, Carly Watson, Margot McGregor, and Natalie Wong. Envelope, please. Carly Watson.
Winning this award means quite a bit to me. This was my first year really getting involved with MPI, and I spent a lot of time working on the newsletter on the communications team and just putting a lot of effort into being a part of the organization. So it feels really good to be recognized by such a great group of people.
Yes, congratulations to Chrissy and Carly. All right. Now, next up, we're going to have two more awards coming up here. We're going to have the Chapter Leader of the Year and the Lois K. Hauser Award. We're going to have past president Joe Martin come on up.
Hello, everyone. It's so good to see you. I am honored to be presenting two awards tonight, starting with the Chapter Leader of the Year. This award is to a member of MPISCC who has demonstrated excellence, dedication, and leadership within the chapter. We have an amazing pool of nominees, and I'm actually sidely proud to say that all of these nominees were also on my board. So I just want to throw that out there. Our nominees this year were Deborah Montegrano, Kristen Twombly, Melissa Goodman, Miranda Shaft, and Natalie Fulton. And the winner is Miranda Shaft. I don't know if you all remember our last in-person event, but it was WeCon. Miranda led our WeCon event in Santa Barbara, and she killed it. And she has strived. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Winning this award is complete shock and amazement. Honestly, I am humbled, honored, completely surprised. This chapter has given me so much, and the fact that they're honoring me is beyond incredible.
This next award is very special to our chapter. We have the Lois K. Hauser Service Award, presented annually to an unsung hero of the chapter, someone who has exhibited dedication and service to the chapter in a volunteer role. This person, I'm going to go off script here for a second. I've worked with this person for years. I've asked her for money. I've asked her for sponsorships. I said, hey, will you just host my WeCon? Because I love your destination. And she never goes without saying, no. She's always I'll do it. What can I do? Let me ask. Let me get approval. So I'm really proud to announce that this year's Lois K. Hauser Award is Susie K., who hosted our WeCon in 2020.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Stand a little taller. Doesn't mean I'm lonely when I'm alone. What doesn't kill you makes you fighter.
I know, I gotta do it.
Doesn't mean I'm over, 'cause you're gone. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
It was a wonderful surprise winning the Lois B. Hauser Award. I was not expecting it at all. I don't know if I even feel like I deserve it, but it's really nice to get a atta girl pat on the back. We don't get those a lot as adults, so I really do appreciate that a ton.
Yes, let's give it up for Miranda and Susie, everybody. All right, moving right along. We've got a few more things that come up here. 3, I believe. The Volunteer of the Year, Beverly Lang and Gary Rosenberg scholarships. We're going to have Vice President of Education, Mai Lim. Come on up.
You guys, I'm here for 3 awards. Oh wait, 1 award and 2 scholarships, and I will also be doing a song and dance after, so please stay. I'm so happy to be here to be with all of you and to present this amazing award, which is a Volunteer Impact Award. And you all were probably familiar with the Shining Stars program, which we revamped and changed to the Volunteer Impact Award. And this is designed to recognize the volunteers that made our chapter initiatives possible. Without them, we don't exist. And tonight's winner was selected from this past year's quarterly nominees, which we had 20 of them. That's pretty impressive. And I can't name all of them, but I can tell you each individual is an amazing person. So here are our finalists: Anastasia Lewis, Jenny Hurley, Serena Villamore, and Shelley Gray. Congratulations to all of our finalists, and thank you for all the hard work and dedication that you've done for our chapter. You're all rock stars. And tonight's winner is Serena Villamore from Las Vegas.
I was so surprised and honored. I'm just happy that I was able to help contribute, especially during such an odd year and uncertainty.
Next up, the Gary J. Rosenberg Scholarship is very, very near and dear to our hearts. We all know Gary. We've served on the board with him, and he's made such an impact in our chapter. This scholarship is dedicated specifically to chapter members to provide financial support for professional education within the meetings industry. And I am so happy to announce this year's recipient, because she's very near and dear to me, and I hope she's here tonight, Natalie Fulton. Woo!
It means so much. Now that I have this scholarship, I'm going to be able to take part more than I thought I would. And I've got my eye on the sustainability certificate with CMP. Actually is something I really wanted to get into this year. So because of this scholarship, I'm going to have the ability to move forward with some of those things that I might have had to miss out on.
Last but not the least, before my song and dance, Madonna, by the way, like a virgin. The Beverly Lang Student Scholarship is designed specifically for emerging leaders on their path in becoming future and meeting event professionals. If you all know Beverly, I'm going to try not to cry when I say her name. She was our past president, and the students have always been very important to her. She believes that they are our future, and we need to nurture them because they're taking our spots to make sure that our industry moves forward. And the winner for this year's recipient is another Nevadan, Montanari Matsuda from University of Reno. He sadly cannot be here with us tonight, but he wants us to all know that it is his dream to one day attend an in-person event. So thank you all for being here.
Oh, yeah.
Into the wilderness.
Let's give it for Matarani, Serena, and Natalie for those awards right there. And we are going to hold you to a song and dance after mine because DJ Ivy is going to be spinning some tunes later. So you're not getting away yet. All right, so next up, we are going to have the Past President's Award. We're going to invite up to the stage past chapter president, John Ellenfelt.
All right, the Past President's Award. This award is nominated by and selected by the chapter past presidents. It is given to an individual that has showed outstanding contributions to the Southern California meeting and event industry. This year's recipient has been involved with the chapter for quite some time. She started her career at Los Angeles Convention and Visitors Bureau in 2002, and then she started her own company, Insightful Meetings, in shortly thereafter. I think she was at the Bureau for about a year. She has given tirelessly to 45 committees on this chapter. That's pretty outstanding. That can give you all something to reach for that are joining and becoming on committees. She gives back to students, and she's taught the Hyatt Basics program at Cal State Long Beach, and she's also taught the meeting and event program and been a guest speaker at Cal Lutheran University. She has been a 39-year member of MPI, which is quite some time, and she's won a few awards. She has won a Chapter Leader Award, and she's also won the Lois K. Hauser Award. It gives me particular love to give this award out because during my year of presidency in 2007, I gave this individual my President's Award, which is left up to the discretion of the president. Even though she had served on my board that year, she was the individual that would actually call me and say, "How are you doing? How are things? Are you taking time to enjoy the journey instead of always looking out for the rest of us on the board?" And it was so impactful to think that somebody was that selfless to give back that way to make sure I was doing okay when I was at the top of the food chain for the chapter, that it was completely impressive and totally worthy of that award. This year's recipient of the MPISCC Past President's Award goes to Haley Powers.
The past presidents are people that have put in so much time and energy into our association, and you don't get to be president by just getting nominated. You have to kind of go through several other positions to earn that. So they really know what they're talking about, and they really have paid their dues and have shown great leadership in pulling people together. So to get an award from them means so much to me because it means people that understand and know how difficult this is to stay involved all the time and to give 100% to an association that's completely volunteer is just such a great honor to me. I'm so pleased to receive it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Now, on from our Past President's Award to the President's Award, we're bringing up once again our immediate past president, Kristen Twombly.
Thank you, sir. So, first of all, thank you, Brady, for making an envelope for the one award that I get to choose. I'll pretend to be surprised, but so one of the honors that the president each year gets to bestow is the President's Award, and it's very meaningful. It's someone who has contributed to the chapter in really meaningful ways, and this individual is actually one of the main reasons why I'm on the board today. She encouraged me when I was completely on the fence, and it's been one of the best decisions I've ever made. She's volunteered in almost every role from director to chair to committee member to VP and back again, and continues to serve to this day. She's incredibly selfless and loves MPISCC with a passion. So this year's President Award is going to Miss Shelley Gray. Really, really well deserved.
I'm very honored that Kristen has chosen me for this award. It is my pleasure to support and volunteer with this chapter whenever needed.
Now, from one current president, we are now going to bring up a gentleman who is going to give his remarks in the president's speech. He is our incoming new chapter president. Please welcome Amani Roberts, everyone.
I love that song. Thank you, Ivy. All right, what's up, everyone? We're here. Finally, it's so good to see so many people just live and in living color. So I'm so happy. Because if you didn't know, for the past 16 or 17 months, I've been at home pretty much with my dog, Nyla. So this is a relief. I just want to first thank all the sponsors that helped put this event on. We could not have done it without you. This was a labor of love, as we say. So thank you to all our sponsors. I have to give a special shout out to Jamie Erickson. She couldn't be with us. She had a family commitment. She was on the committee with us. And where is Sasha Tani? Sasha's back there. Yes, thank you to Sasha. So they were my installation chairs, and we put this on. I'm just so happy and thankful that we're here. We also have to send a special shout out to Nikki Wilbur. She couldn't be with us. She just moved to Seattle. So congrats to Nikki. We love you, and we can't wait to see you soon. And then also, where is Ron? Ron Rubin there. So I want to shout you out for, first of all, 39 years being a member, and have your 80th birthday that's coming up soon as well, right? All right. I love it. I love it. Cool, cool. There you go. Before I get started, I do also want to give some credit and some thanks to Kristen. As she spoke about, this year was just a tough year for anyone to become president of any chapter around the world. Kristen did an amazing job with her leadership, her resilience, just keeping us on track. We didn't have to dip into reserves until May, which is shocking, puts a lot of pressure on me. But in the DJ world, we have something. What we do is we like to give artists and musicians their flowers before they leave us. So my commitment to you, Kristen, is we're going to give you your flowers throughout the entire term next year because you deserve it. And you've just done an amazing job. So just thank you for your leadership. You've left some immense shoes to fill. Thank you. And just great job. And it's been an honor being on your board. So thank you. What I'm going to do is I want to share my MPI story with you because I think that's going to show you where we've been as a chapter, where we are right now, and then where we're going. And it's being a member of this chapter has changed my life in so many ways. So I want to share with you a couple stories. First of all, do you remember where you were on October 8th, 2013? I know where I was. Marilyn is making a funny face. But she invited me to my first MPI meeting. We're at the Langham, Pasadena. For that, I was a new member. I had joined the morning before. Yes, Langham's here, yes. Shameless plug. The topic was like technology trends in the events industry. And the only person I knew there was Marilyn. And she had been trying to get me to come and join MPI because I had left Marriott about a year and a half ago. I had retired from Marriott at a very young age. And I was going to come and go full-time being a DJ. And I went to there. We went to the networking event that was in the morning, like the 11 o'clock time frame. And Tara Gatsby, former past president, she greeted me. She was like, how are you? What's your name? Why are you here? I told her, I said, okay, this is why I'm here. She said, well, if you really want to get the most out of MPI, you have to raise your hand and get involved. And I said, I can do that. I can get involved. So she introduced me to Emily Swan, who's now Emily Elps, I believe is her last name. And I was the volunteer just coordinator between communications and sponsorship. So that was my job. I did it. It was fun. And I just kept staying on the board. So we fast forward really quick to like my first board position. So I was on Marilyn's board. She was president. And I was director of social media. And this was a little challenging because for the time period before, we had kind of shut down our social media because things weren't going well. We hadn't had a lot of good content. So we kind of had to start from scratch. But what I really remember, this was the first time I think I really had met Joe Martin too, was the first retreat. So we went to Catalina Island for our first retreat. And we were there and we sitting in this meeting room for 10 hours talking about communications plans and 18-month calendars and succession planning. I might have said 4 or 5 words the entire time. I was completely overwhelmed. I was like, what did I get myself into? But if you remember Judy Webster, she was our chapter manager from Global. And so towards the end of the time, she was like, you know, Amani, I think you're going to be president of the chapter one day. I said, really? I said, I'm not sure I'm going to be here tomorrow, but why do you feel that way? And she was just like, no, you're just taking notes, you're listening, and I just kind of see it in you. And she was right. Look at her now. And that's important. I want to share that because as you see with all the awards we've given out, you know, all the awards we get out today, like a lot of times people can see something in you before you can see it in yourself. And that was a perfect example of that. And that's what we continue to do in our chapter. That's why Kristen was talking about, you know, it's all about the members. Because when you join, we see something in you. We want to get you to volunteer. We want to get you to come and join a committee. And that's why. Because we want you, first of all, we need the help. But second of all, we want you to grow as people, as professionals and personal, and that's important. So that's what I remember about my first board position. We fast forward, I was VP of Communications, and then I got to be Vice President of Membership. This was on Joe Marcy's board. And this was the one position that really changed my life, and I'll tell you a story. Joe Marcy had a goal of growing our emerging leaders. He wanted to grow our emerging leaders, so we had a plan to visit 6 schools: Cal State Long Beach, Cal State Northbridge, Cal State Fullerton, Cal State Poly Pomona, the International School of Hospitality in Vegas, and UNLV. And we went to visit those schools, we did events, and we did special events at Cal State Long Beach and Fullerton. And it was going well, we were growing, and then what happened was, I think it was June of 2018, I was at Camp Spinoff with DJ Ivy, we were there, and I got an email from Dr. Kim from Cal State University Fullerton. And she was like, we had a professor that resigned suddenly. Do you think you might be interested in teaching here? And I was like, okay, yes, I can try that, yes. But to give you some context, I grew up the son of a professor. So my dad was a professor at Howard University, one of the biggest historically black colleges and universities. Yes, HU. It's there you go Bison. Yes, thank you. And so he was the professor there, was a department chair. So naturally, I wanted to be as far away from doing any kind of professoring or doing any kind of teaching as possible. I didn't want to do it. That's why I went to work in hotels, because it was far away from teaching. Yet, sure enough, I ended up in this position. Really kind of changed my life for a bunch of reasons. First of all, to be frank, like when you work at a college state system, you get good benefits. And if you ever worked on your own or you know about being an entrepreneur, like benefits are very expensive and sometimes they're not the best. So I was able to upgrade there. But then just teaching, like I love teaching. I love teaching people how to DJ. I love teaching people about the industry and how the industry works for our industry, hospitality and meetings. And so I was able to do that. And what's ironic is that as much as I was teaching the students, they were teaching me also what was relevant to them and everything. So it was very humbling. I love it. Now I found my why. I'm here to teach and share my expertise, the industry, whether it be DJing or meetings and events. That's why I'm here. And so it's very fortunate when you can find your why. And I found that out. So I do that. And I have to give a shout out to one of my students. Myra is here in the front. So I'm so proud. And then Alexis is also here. Where's Alexis? She's here too. Yes, Alexis right there. So I get my students, they come, they get involved, and during the pandemic, we had to teach virtually. So if I'm alone with my dog for all the time, I don't really see or talk to people. But when I was teaching, at least, I know we hate Zoom, but at least on the Zoom, I was able to have energy from the students and go back and forth, and that really saved me because it was very lonely. As you know, it was very challenging. So to have the energy from the students while we were teaching and going through that did save me because I was going to go crazy otherwise. So that's just how MPI can impact your life, and it was completely unexpected. And one thing that we always encourage our volunteers to do is just say yes, and then we'll figure it out together. And that's something that we want to continue to do. Finally, Joe Martin approaches me for his year, and he says, Amani, I want you to be Vice President of Education, help plan our events and everything. And I was like, okay, Joe, I can barely plan a group dinner in Santa Monica, but I'll try. He wants us to plan WeCon. So I got with Miranda, who's here. We got Susie K back there and Shelly Gray, and we planned WeCon. And our goal is we wanted to make Joe cry tears of joy when he was there with just the quality of the programming, how the event went, everything. We even stuck in some Uggs there for people just to really get him to cry. And it worked. So he cried like the second day, mission accomplished. But once again, I didn't know how to do something specifically, but I just said yes. And then we figured it out together. We learned together. On Twitch, we always talk about we learn together. The same thing right here, like we learn together. So thank you, Joe, for pushing me outside my comfort zone. I appreciate that. Yes. Yes, cry again. It's 2. Yes. Okay, and then finally, in June of 2020, we all know what was going on with the murder of George Floyd. And you would remember you had a lot of brands that were putting up like those black squares and saying they were going to make certain commitments to do things with diversity. But as we know, many times those plans or those actions don't happen. And so we took some time and we said, what is our plan going to be? And ironically, we had been talking about this before. Like this was not something that we kind of reacted to. We had been talking about this for years before Kristen. It was very important to Kristen, which I admire, about diversity, equity, and inclusion. So this was already on our kind of timetable. And so we had to figure out what was our statement going to be. And so I shared my perspective, coming into being, because right now, as you know, I'm the first African-American president of our chapter, 45 years we've been around. So
That's good, but if we're being frank, it took too long. It took too long, and so, but we recognize that. And so when they wrote that letter, I really love that letter because they were honest about the shortcomings, and they said we haven't done enough in the past, but we're going to be better. And I didn't tell them to say that. I really, on purpose, I waited. I wanted to see what they were going to say, and I was so proud of what they said in the letter because it's true. Yes, I'm here today, but we have more work to do, and it's really important. And I encourage you to go back and read that letter again and hold us accountable because we've made great strides this year, but we need to do more, and we are going to do more. That's one of our other missions for the upcoming year. So I want to first really thank Joe and Kristen for putting it out there, for holding themselves accountable, and taking action. We've done a lot of things this first year, and that's more than many brands, many Fortune 100 companies. We've done more than they've done, so we should be commended. So thank you. Also, side note, I'm also the first DJ that's chapter president too. So shout out to the few yeah. So I just have a couple, 3 really specific calls to action for all of you, and tell your colleagues who couldn't join us today but will watch the video that we're going to share. Raise your hand and get involved, even if it's just 1 or 2 hours a month, just get involved. It can change your life, as I've tried to share with you. As I've exemplified, just say yes and learn as you go. We're not perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. And it's okay to make mistakes. That's how you learn, by making mistakes. Now, don't make any big mistakes this year, because I have some money that I don't want to take out of reserves, so we can make mistakes just small, please. Thank you. And then third, just keep in touch. I think now more than ever, it's really important for us to keep in touch with each other, check on each other, email, phone, text, Skype, FaceTime, whatever, Zoom. I hate Zoom, but still, just keep in touch because as we've seen, it can be very lonely out there. And we are in the events industry, we're about people. So please, keep in touch with all your people. Even a simple hello, and don't lose contact, stay in touch with us, we're here for you. And I just think that's really important for us to remember as we move forward. I'm very grateful for the lessons that I've learned here at MPI. I'm also very fortunate that I continue to remain healthy in our current environment. I don't take that for granted at all. And I'm very, very excited for the future of our chapter and our members. Thank you.
Yes, let's give it up for Ronnie Roberts, everybody. So inspired over there. Just want to get out and do something. Raise my hand, do some stuff. My goodness. See, and it's true. I raised my hand on a call to Miranda Shaft a few weeks ago, and here I am sitting here today. So it's that easy to get involved. It really is. So next up, we're going to have welcome our past chapter president, Mayor Les Kroc, for some remarks as well. That's right. Mayor Les, we've been on an event before. We've done a fundraiser before. Get it up here, and we're going to have a few remarks from Mayor Les, and then we're also going to have the swearing in of our board.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Amani, don't step too far. I'm going to go ahead and start off and ask that I could please have the incoming board of directors to the front of the stage. I'm going to keep this really quick because I know you guys want to party and do all kinds of fun stuff. So good evening, everybody. It is an honor to be installing all of you as MPISCC's board of directors this evening. It's an extra special honor to be swearing in Amani as president. As you know, I wrangled him into joining MPI in the first place, and just look at what he's been able to accomplish as a volunteer and becoming president tonight. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize. Come on up, everybody. Amani likes to tell everybody that he was my boss. And for the record, that was 11 years ago, so you can let that go. But all jokes and kidding aside, what I liked about working with Amani was his even temperament, his thoughtful, soft-spoken, and deliberate nature, his genuine care for the team's work-life balance and well-being. And I say this because these are all excellent traits in a leader, and I know that he will carry this into his leadership for our chapter. But enough about Amani, because I could go on and have some really good stories that I can share, but I'll reserve that for another time. But for the rest of the incoming board, IVP, VPs, directors, alphabet soup, all that fun stuff, Amani chose you to be a part of his dream team or his fantasy draft. And that's because you all have the same passion for our industry and chapter, and because you each have something to bring to the table to balance out his and each other's strengths and weaknesses. So thank you all for making this commitment as chapter leaders and serving our membership. As volunteers, you go above and beyond your day-to-day scope of work, and I hope this experience will be rewarding and enriching for all of you. Now to make it official. Hey. Okay, everybody, please raise your right hand and respond with "I will." Hold on. That was so cute. On behalf of the members of MPISCC, are you willing to accept the trust placed in you by your peers? Perfect. Do you agree to serve to the best of your ability? Right. And then, do you agree to abide by the laws and policies of Meeting Professionals International in this chapter, adhere to the principles of professional conduct and ethics, and fulfill all the responsibilities of your particular office? By the powers that I've always wanted to say that, but there really aren't any. Anyways, congratulations to the new board, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, yes, congratulations to our board, everyone. All right, also to all of our award recipients, we're going to make sure you stick around because you are all going to get interviewed a little bit later. So make sure that you get your interview here. And now Amani said something during his speech, which I feel like we need to do because, you know, talk about doing it for the gram. I feel like we need to get a selfie. We're all here in person together, right? So we're coming up from the stage, everybody. If you can, just come in here. 1, 2, 3. There we go. We'll see if we can get everybody in. Now, thank you so much all for coming out here today. It's really great to see everybody in person again. My goodness, once again, thank you to our sponsors, Shukri, DJ Ivy, Video Approach, Fun for Events, Jay Tannel, Absolutely Fabulous, Girl Squad, Sunflower Baking, Recent One, and Oh Snaptastic Photo Booth. Congratulations for being here, and congratulations to our new board, and have some fun networking.